What's going on, Internet? nerdlocker.com here with this week's comic book reviews, and I'm starting off with Batman Eternal #3. This is how a weekly series should be. Third issue in, and everything is just hitting right here. We get introduced to Stephanie Brown, and I kind of, as much or as bummed out as I am for some of the relationships that have changed or, completely been erased because of the New 52, seeing some new origin stories doesn't totally suck. And this is pretty cool. Like it says, to me it kind of sucks now that Stephanie Brown doesn't have all the history that she had with everything, but it looks great. I mean, this is just awesome. Some big stuff is happening in Gotham. Batman's going around looking for Carmine Falcone, where he is, what's going on, and while he's doing that, Falcone makes his move on Gotham. And this looks like this whole story is just going to be a whole bunch of corruption and just powers bigger than Batman, and him having to take all this back, take his city back. It's just outstanding. I can't wait to see what comes of this. I'm also stoked that we get to talk about this every week, because this is going to be an exciting year. I know they got 2 more year-long or weekly books coming out that I cannot wait to read. I just hope they kind of have their formula back together. But this is a great start. This is great, just great material to read. I'm giving this 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey there guys, Cubby here with my comic reviews for this week. I got to review Secret Origins #1. It was actually pretty interesting to see. This is something I'd want to see from DC for a while. Pretty much just the explanation of everyone in the DC universe. They're doing a kind of shorter stories. This one was 3 of them. I don't know if they're going to change it up later on. But it's nice, short and sweet. Got a couple of different artists, a couple of different writers. Nothing too crazy. I mean, the Dick Grayson one was kind of not heartfelt, but you know that story already. It's just the way it's playing out in the New 52. Same with Superman. And his cousin, Supergirl. It kind of just plays out the way it's supposed to play out, just new costumes, new kind of predicaments, things like that. Which it wasn't terrible. It's just nice to see it there. So the fact that it's kind of already told a million times over doesn't make it really groundbreaking, but it was pretty to look at, and it was actually written really well. So I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey fellow nerds, Jasper here, and I just got done reading Justice League United issue 0. This is a pretty cool issue due to the fact that you have Martian Manhunter, Green Arrow, Stargirl, and Animal Man teaming up to battle aliens of all things who are completely pulling a kind of a brainiac and pulling all these different aliens into one area, trying to harbinger their inner essence to create epic portions of devious chaos. You start off with Stargirl and Animal Man getting flagged down by a person by the name of Dr. Strange, funny enough, and he pretty much asks for their assistance when he finds these alien skeletons. And after the disappearance of his love, they go into trying to find out where she went. There pretty much ends up becoming a fight in the showdown with the aliens, and all of them once Martian Manhunter and Arrow show up. But you fast forward to the home planet of the at least without any spoilers here, the guy who's doing all this chaos. What's more interesting enough is the people that are being kept prisoners. And without spoiling it, next issue is going to be great because there's going to be an epic slug out between 2 of DC's favorite all-time characters. Of course, I can't tell you who. You have to check it out for yourself at the end of the issue. But I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls only because issue 2 is going to be awesome because it's just a massive, potentially massive bout, which I can't wait to check out.
All right, I got to read Guardians of the Galaxy #14. This is a new story arc. First of all, art is by Nick Bradshaw. I don't know if he's doing this from now on or if it's just this big, double-sized anniversary issue, as the cover says. But I wish Nick Bradshaw drew everything because he is outstanding. And, he could draw a book about anything, and I will read it because I get to look at his artwork. So enough on that. Back to the story. The Guardians are getting attacked individually in groups, but each member of the Guardians is getting taken out. Venom is now part of the team. He's sent there by the Avengers to kind of be a connection. So, we have something out in space. We have like a warning, I guess you could say. But this is so good. This is so good because it's really picking up momentum. And now all the Guardians are taken down in various places. And it looks like the Guardians are no more. All you have is Venom basically stranded on an alien planet somewhere. And another character on the last page that I don't want to reveal. You may have heard that this character is joining the team. Don't want to give it away if you haven't. As far as the main story goes, I'm really excited for this because being that Venom is an alien symbiote, or Venom, is the alien symbiote, they're really talking like everyone else knows where it's from except for Flash Thompson. And it's something that hasn't really been discussed on Earth. So I'm hoping that maybe we get to see more of this. Maybe there's some awesome stories coming up. I'm hoping. Other than that, there's some backup stories. We get basically the origin of Groot, which is really cool. And we get to see a future Guardian story, which is awesome as well. I enjoyed this issue very much. I suggest picking it up. This would be a great jumping on point if you don't know a lot about the Guardians and want to kind of get informed before the movie comes out. I highly suggest picking this up, giving it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, guys, so I got to review Original Sin number 0 as well. I'm getting really excited for this fan, actually. I was not too excited, and to be honest, this doesn't end with a huge cliffhanger that makes you want to like, oh my God, can't wait to see it. It's just really like a cool little character thing to get you more in line with who Uatu is as a Watcher, as the Watcher. And it's told through the eyes of Nova right now, which is pretty sweet because he's actually a really cool character. His internal dialogue and all that stuff was really cool, and him talking about Uatu and trying to interact with them and learning everything was really sweet. Plus, Jim Chung artwork rules all the time. So the fact that it was just that pretty much just made the book. So I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. And if you're not stoked for this, I think you should be because it's going to be sweet.
So I also got to read Daredevil number 2. I really liked the intro of Daredevil moving to San Francisco. I like where this is going. Introduced a new character to me. I wasn't terribly familiar with the Shroud. Seems like he's got a cool little history. I like it. Seems like it's basically going to be Daredevil versus Daredevil, which is interesting. They teased an appearance by another longtime villain of Daredevil's. We didn't actually see that one, and I think it was just a ruse. But I really am digging that Matt Murdock is a celebrity. We know who he is. We know Daredevil, and he's in a new city. I really like this. I really like how they're going out of the way and make that a big point. I also like how it's not his home turf. So he's learning new things, running up against new people. He has new friends and new villains. So it really is a great way to get him out of what he's familiar with in a new era. And it's not the old days of Spider-Man, hey, let's bring in a clone and change it all up and give him blonde hair. So I really enjoy that. I'm really liking where this book's going. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, I got to read Batman Superman 9. And the only issue I have with this book is that it's part 3 of the Batman Superman World's Finest crossover, and part 4 came out a couple weeks ago. We actually reviewed it. And I don't know. I feel like, okay, well now I'm reading this issue that I already know the ending to, and it just, I don't know. It kind of bummed me out. I understand things happen. Nobody's perfect, but it would have been cool if we got it in succession with the other ones. I don't want to give the story or the art a bad rating because it's Greg Pak and Jay Lee, and they're both really, really good at what they do. But just the execution of the book coming out kind of took away from the story. Even the other issue in World's Finest kind of took away because we just missed a whole section, and now we get it after 2 issues of World's Finest have come out. So I have to give it a low grade on that. Sorry, I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Apologize.
All right, guys, so I got to read Uncanny Avengers number 19 as well this week. Again, the one book that has mastered the climax and fall and then climax again. Like, it just keeps building up, building up, building up, and like ends with these great one-page like big spreads or fills or whatever, and you're just like, oh my God, that's so sweet, I can't wait for the next one. Does the same thing, but in the middle of it, it just completely like gets you more built up for what's going on and explains the world that they're in now and Planet X and whatnot. It's pretty sweet. I love alternate worlds, and the fact that Marvel still has all their old ones and they're kind of messing with them now is really awesome because they have a lot of really cool ones. So just seeing all these cool characters from out of nowhere kind of interact and fight with each other is pretty sweet. So I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls because it's the best event book ever written.
Jack is back. 24 Underground #1. Big fan. I love Jack Bauer. I love 24. I've seen every single episode of the TV show. Super excited he's coming back. Super excited the comic book. And the book was pretty good, to be honest. It was a little slow, but we have to get reintroduced to Jack. And this is where the time where he's a wanted man. Oh, he's hiding out in Europe, and he's still trying to be the good guy Jack, but he's got to really stay off the radar because everybody is looking for him. And of course, his relationship with his woman gets him in trouble. It's not actually his woman, but his woman's brother. He gets in trouble, so he's got to get involved. It's really cool because he's dealing with the Russian underworld, the Russian mob, and he does it his own way, as he always does, and he's going to get in trouble. So I highly recommend you check it out. I think it's a great way to reintroduce us into Jack and get us back into the TV show. I'm going to go ahead and give this one 3.5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, I got to read Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #33. The Turtles are back in New York after kind of taking time away from everything after the big war with Shredder. Shredder doesn't know they're back yet, and they're kind of preparing to take down the Foot Clan again, or getting ready to face off with the Foot Clan again. And this issue mainly deals with relationships of the different characters and how everything has changed. Even though we're all back in New York, a lot of things are different. And we see a lot of Casey's dad have a talk with Shredder just about having to bring Casey over to the Foot Clan. Because if he doesn't, he's dead because he's aligned themselves with the other clan, and that's just how it goes. And it kind of leaves Casey's dad in a tough position as a father, even though he's not doing the right things. But you really get to see just like how story-driven this book is. And I've been a fan of this book since the beginning, and I think this is an awesome, awesome book. Having, growing up with the cartoon, being a fan, and having this book come out that isn't exactly like a children's themed book, I'm really enjoying it. I think it is great. I think they've done a great job with all the origins of the characters, and it looks like there's some big stuff to come ahead in this. This would be another great jumping on point for this book. If you guys aren't checking it out, I really suggest you do because it's a good read and it's a very good story. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
So I also got to read Lazarus #8. I've been a big fan of this book. I think the writing is fantastic. I think it's tailed a little bit here as we're getting into the meat of a new story. And in this episode or issue, we finally get a little bit more of that meat. We find out how all these storylines are starting to come together. We get another intro in the beginning where Forever is working with Marisol again, and her dad comes and not necessarily confronts Marisol, not really threatens her, but kind of in her own way, and is like, Forever better be ready in a month. And the deal is basically in a month, Forever and Marisol are going to have to go at it, and whoever survives, hopefully it's Forever because she's part of the family, is obviously going to be the new Lazarus. That's obviously in the past. So we come to the present day. Forever is now investigating the whole incident, break-in and all that. She's got the information. She goes to confront him. Only problem is they're still missing one member. They interrogated the other two, killed a bunch more, trying to find out what's going on. Now we find out this is where everything's coming together. You still have the huge procession heading towards Denver, heading towards Colorado, trying to get there to the lift. They're going to have a huge selection. And now we understand that's where the terrorists are going to. Now they're down to one terrorist. And it's obviously going to be this huge thing coming about. And there's nice little side stories going on here, especially with the little group that we got to know really well, Michael being one of the main points. And his sister got killed in the last issue. It was really sad. But now we find out that he has some kind of medical training, and he hooks up with the family actually hooks up with a group of nuns who are dishing out medical supplies and advice and helping. And because he had some kind of medical training, he's now with them, and they brought that family into the safety of their little caravan sort of thing. So that's kind of cool. But I'm curious where this is going to go. I want more Forever. I kind of miss the rest of the family that we had going in the first 5 issues or so. So I missed that involvement, but I still like where it's going. I can't wait to see how this is all going to blow up. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one 3.5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.